Hello, this is Keith Payne with Superior Lending.
And I'm Brenda Simmons with Presidio Real Estate.
And we're here with your home buying tip of the week.
And today we want to talk with you a little bit about how to make an offer on the home that you want.
Excellent, that's exactly right. So we've talked about people out looking for a home and what you might want to look for. Well, now you found a home that you want to purchase. What do you have to do to make an offer to buy that home, Brenda?
Well, you need to have two main documents when you're submitting an offer. The first one is that pre-approval letter, and we've talked about that previously. The second one is the real estate purchase contract, or we like to call it the REPC for short. And in that contract, you're going to define everything that you are offering to the seller. And this is something that you're going to want to go through with your real estate agent because it's an 8-page document, and you really need to know what each line item says. But I am going to go over just the main points of that document so you understand what you need to keep in mind before you get to that point. The first thing you need to consider is your purchase price that you are offering. So your seller is going to have a purchase price, and so you need to know, are you going to come in on that particular home below purchase price, right at purchase price, or above the purchase price that they are asking for? And so that's the very first conversation you need to have. The second is you need to know how much earnest money you're going to give. And so people ask me this all the time, well, how much is enough? And it really just depends on the home and what you're capable of doing. But just know that the more earnest money you offer, the better it looks, right? Another thing you need to consider is how much total you're going to put down. And just remember that that total down payment includes your earnest money. People ask me that all the time. Is the earnest money on top of my down payment? No, it's part of. Right. You combine it. Yes, exactly. So that's the money side of it. So you're also going to want to talk about, is the purchase of the home for sale contingent on you selling your current home? Is it contingent upon doing due diligence? And that means like doing an inspection and all the homework on the home? Is the purchase of the home contingent on the appraisal? So all of those things you're going to want to talk over with your real estate agent. Now, once you get done with all of that, there are 4 major deadlines that you have to consider. The first one is the seller's disclosure deadline. And this is the first deadline where the sellers have typically a few days to a week to tell you everything that they know about the home. And that is in an official document. The second deadline is really important to buyers because that is the buyer's due diligence. And that's typically roughly around 2 weeks after acceptance of your offer. And in that 2-week frame, you want to do all of your homework on the home. So I just mentioned doing an inspection. This is where the title comes in that we talked about in a previous video. And we're going to learn about the HOA. And so all of that homework is going to let you know if this is a good home to buy. So that is the buyer's due diligence deadline. The third deadline is the financial and appraisal deadline. And Keith, since you're here, will you tell us a little bit about that deadline?
Sure. So that deadline is when the appraisal has to be done by. And so your lender is going to assign an appraiser to come out and look and evaluate the cost of the home. And they have a date which that has to be turned in. And so you'll know that your financing has been approved at that point and can move forward with the loan.
Perfect. So that's your third deadline. The fourth deadline is the last one, and that is just your settlement deadline. And that's when all of the money has to be transferred and all the documents signed. So that's pretty much it. So remember, you're going to have 2 different documents, the REPC and also the pre-approval letter from your lender. And you'll sign all of that, and then you'll give it to your real estate agent. The real estate agent will then give it to the seller's real estate agent, who will then present it to the seller, and they will review it then.
Excellent. So that sounds like a long, a little bit of complicated process, which is why we have buyer's agents to help us.
Yep.
And that's in a typical purchase.
Yes.
But we've talked about before that we're in a seller's market. So what does that mean to making an offer in today's terms?
So in our last video, we talked about how when you're going out to look at homes, you're probably going to see other buyers there. You need to expect that you're going to be competing against other offers. And so you have to really think strategically and creatively on how you can make your offer stand out against all of the other ones. And so there's several different things that you can do. I advise you to sit down with your real estate agent because they're going to go over that particular situation. And a good real estate agent will even call the seller's agent and ask, what does the seller need? And sometimes that is super beneficial because then you can present your offer according to what that seller needs. So that's super important. But you can make your earnest money go hard or non-refundable early. Typically, it doesn't go non-refundable until the financing and appraisal deadline. So you can make that go, at the due diligence deadline or at the seller's disclosure deadline, or you can even make it go non-refundable immediately upon acceptance. So that is something that you can consider. Another thing you can do is make you can increase your earnest money. You can make the inspection and the appraisal not contingent on the purchase of the home. And you can even move up your deadline so you can close faster or slower as, to accommodate what the seller needs. But ultimately, it's purchase price, right? So
yeah, money talks.
Money talks. It really does. And that's really what the seller is going to be looking for. So again, sit down with your real estate agent, go over all of these points, and let them advise you on what to do in the particular situation.
Excellent. Those are great tips, Brenda. Thank you for sharing those, and I hope that you as a buyer now have a better understanding of what making an offer looks like and some of the tips and tricks to help guide you through that process.
Thank you so much, Keith. And we sure hope this video has been helpful for you. I'm Brenda Simmons with Presidio Real Estate.
And I'm Keith Payne with Superior Lending. If you know anyone looking to buy, build, sell, or refinance, or if you have questions for us, please contact us at the numbers below. Thanks. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye.